name is Ying.
My name is David Young.
My name is Justin Liu.
My name is Katie Chow.
And I am a restaurant kid.
And I'm a restaurant kid.
And I'm a restaurant kid.
And I am a restaurant kid. So my parents came to America in hopes of living a more prosperous life.
Back then, they hear from relatives and friends, America was the place to for new opportunities and for a better life.
But it wasn't easy. The transition was not easy at all.
When they first came here, and even now really, there's language barriers, I guess just not a secure economic situation too, but also very demanding labor.
My dad didn't really have a lot of education on his belt, so he didn't have the opportunity to go to college or whatever. So he actually was a cook, and he decided that it wasn't for him and he didn't want to work in the casino, so he actually built his own restaurant up from there.
When they moved here, they were working at a restaurant and then making minimum wage, and at that time it was a lot to them compared to what they were making in Taiwan and what the wage is in Taiwan, so that's why they moved here.
Yeah, so they would probably wake up a little before 9 and then get ready, go straight to the restaurant, open the restaurant, and then stay there till maybe around 11.
He gets a 10-ish minute break during the day. So he eats really fast. He still eats incredibly fast at home because he's so used to shoving food down so that he can get back to work.
And then he'll come home probably around 11 on weekends and then just go to sleep and do it for about 6 days a week, sometimes 7.
And so that was her typical day. And even when she had a day off, she just did housework and never really did much outside of the house and outside of the restaurant.
My mother didn't really want to expose me to it, but because it was hard for us to find workers and to find a babysitter or whatever, I actually kind of transitioned into the restaurant.
I guess as a kid I made it fun just because kids have pretty good imagination, and I had my twin boy cousins with me and my brother at some points.
When I went to the restaurant, it was never really, it was more exciting for me because I got to go out of the house as a kid, and then I get to fool around in the restaurant, eat good food, and then go to the next door GameStop inside the plaza that the restaurant was at.
So we had a countertop. That was where the cash register and stuff was, and then under there was a little more space for storage, but it was an open cabinet kind of with no doors, and it was pretty big, and I was pretty small at the time. So my mom had she had laid a blanket on there and then put a tiny little cube TV in there, and I would just sit under there and just watch TV, and then I would peek out and there would be customers there, and just customer style is the cutest little thing.
So we would run through the restaurant if we weren't working or doing something, and we would run to the back in the kitchen and play in the huge industrial sized freezers, and then we would lock each other in there, and it was kind of dangerous, but whatever.
And then the only work I've done was probably go on delivery runs, and where they'll drive me there and I'll take the food down to the customers at the door and get the tip.
From when I do remember, I was probably in 3rd or 4th grade, and I started to learn how to use the cash register. So when I knew how to kind of just take care of the front customer service area, I would run the cash register, take the orders, take phone calls.
It was not fun, but we tried to make it fun. It was essentially just chores that we tried to make more entertaining. So it's definitely affected our communication. Honestly, when I'm working 7 to 4 at the shelter, I don't see my dad.
So I'm not sure if I could say that I kind of had a father figure growing up, because my mom took care of me, I would say, most of the time.
The only time we got to spend together was the one day a week she had off when she was just at home doing housework. And even then, I would probably just be sitting at home after school playing video games or something.
Our time at home was really limited because we spent most of the day at the restaurant, but the 1 or 2 hours that we had at home was like my favorite time of the day. We would like watch Asian dramas, and then my mom would prepare like snacks or like food, and it was just like really like a time to relax.
But him being under a lot of stress and, you know, it being a restaurant, you have to be put to work. And that's the mentality. And that's the mentality I had growing up. And in that way, I feel as though that was how my father viewed me, as kind of another employee sometimes rather than his son. And if I'm not doing work, then I'm not important.
They'd be like, what you be thinking?
She would say, 你神经病, which is you're crazy in Chinese, because she wouldn't know how to say that in English. And she would probably just think I'm joking.
I told her that when she asked me what I want to do in college. I was like, I want to go to business school and I want to get a business degree so I can take over the restaurant. And she hit me in public because she thought I was being really stupid.
Yeah, I mean, they know how hard it is. They know how much I disliked it when I spent my time in the restaurant, so they definitely wouldn't want me to go through it again.
She definitely always wanted me to be like a pharmacist, a doctor, but I told her business, and then she says it's okay because business you can still make money. It's all really about money to her. Just finding a stable income after I graduate. I think that's what she's hoping for and looking forward to.
My love language is words of affirmation, I think, and theirs is not. So I had to learn that over time, that like when they're preparing meals for me, when they're at the restaurant, working their tails off to provide for us financially, like that's their way of showing love.
They never told me straight up, like using the words "I love you" to me. The way that my mom would really show me love is kind of just giving me what I wanted. When my cousins would go on vacation, my mom would ask if I wanted to go with them, and then to kind of just live that same lifestyle that every kid was living at that time.
The way they show love was, I'm not even like sure I could put something on it. Like I knew that they loved me.
Honestly, my parents are just like running back and forth for me all the time, and just like the fact that the restaurant is there, I know is like for my future. So yeah.
I would really just tell her how much I appreciate her, and I would really want to apologize for all of my selfish needs and the times that I've yelled at her because of the situation that she put me in.
I would tell them that everything that they've done growing up, even though they might not feel as though they did it right or they cared for me, they did it right.
Thank you for essentially giving up their life in Hong Kong, where they knew like how they fit in and what they were good at and all of these things, to come to America.
I guess first just thank you for working so hard for me, and thank you for dealing with my tantrums that I used to throw all the time, and for my unthoughtfulness. Gosh. Oh, are we still rolling?
And really, I just want to tell her how much I really love her for everything that she's done for me.
I would also tell them I love them, even if they don't say it back, which I hope they would. And also that God sees their hard work and that He will reward them for that in heaven.
I'm going to do so well because you brought me up so well, and I love you for it. Without a doubt, I love you for it.
And just even though I don't say it, or like I don't always tell them, like I know that they're working hard for me and that I really appreciate it, and that I know everything that they do is for me. And then yeah, and that I love them.
I would tell people how difficult restaurant life is actually, because I feel like that's always overlooked. It's unlike any other job. You work super long hours, 10 plus hours a day inside that restaurant.
That being a restaurant kid it's hard, and not a lot of people know that.
Probably in high school or like middle school or even elementary school, when I like told my friends like I had to help out the restaurant, or like tell them like even like snippets of my story when I would like just like spend every day at the restaurant, they would view it as like, I don't know, joking around like abuse or like child labor or like things like that.
We get up every day and we like put on a smile. That's just because that's what society wants, but inside like we are really hurting inside.
I would request that people try to comprehend that sacrifice and the intention behind what a lot of parents desire to give for their children.
The parents working in the restaurants, they are working their butt off. They're trying the hardest that they can, and that they love their kids a lot.
Mom and Dad, thank you for the sacrifice that you made for me. It's representative of what God did when He gave up His life for me, and I'm proud of you. Yes, thank you so much. I love you.
妈妈，这是雨涵，然后我只是想要跟你说谢谢，然后跟你说我爱你，然后也很想你，因为我知道你现在在台湾也工作，很累，可是我想告诉你，就是真的谢谢，然后跟你说我爱你。
I think, Mom and Dad, that I won't tell you enough how much I love you, and how much I value you as parents, not really giving up on me. And I just want to thank you for that. And I want to say I love you for it.
妈妈、爸爸，很感谢你们为我所做的一切，我爱你们。